talking to Ruby the other day and she asked me what I was up to, and I told her I was making lasagna. And she said, how do you have time to work, take care of the kids, the home, and make lasagna from scratch? And I told her, it's easy. It's called the Insta Pot. And Ruby said, what's an Insta Pot? And I told her, I said, it's an electric pressure cooker, slow cooker, and it makes your food in about a quarter of the time that a normal pressure cooker and crock pot does. So she said, can you please show me how to make lasagna in an Insta Pot? And I said to her, sure, why don't I show you and all of our Saheliyan how to make lasagna in an Insta Pot. So here's my Insta Pot. It has a valve on top that you can close and open. So for our lasagna, we're gonna cook it with the valve closed. And you turn it, you'll hear a beep, open it up. Cool thing about the Insta Pot is you don't know where to put the lid, you can just hang it over to the side. And you can also hang it on this side as well. So inside we've got our stainless steel bowl that we're gonna make our lasagna in. And there are many options that you can use, but for this one, we're gonna use the slow cook option. So let's get started. So here's what you need to make lasagna in an Insta Pot. Here I have a mixture of thyme, basil, and oregano. I have 16 ounces of mozzarella cheese, shredded, 16 ounces of Parmesan cheese, shredded, 8 ounces of ricotta cheese, half of an onion chopped up. I have here my favorite sauce, Newman's Own Marinara, oven-ready lasagna, every working mom's dream come true. I've got mushroom and I've got some spinach. So what we want to do first is cut up our mushroom, onion, and spinach and saute those in some oil because if we put raw vegetables in the Insta Pot, then there'll be a lot of water in your lasagna. So let's get started with cutting. Alright, so let's heat up our oil. And once it's heated, we're going to add in our onion, our chopped mushrooms, we're going to let those saute and let those mushrooms sweat. Add a pinch of salt. Stir it all up. And if you want it spicy, now would be a great time to add some red pepper. But I'm not going to put any spice because I want this to be kid-friendly. So if you don't have a lot of time, one of the tricks I learned from my mom is to cover the pot up. And the onions and the mushrooms will cook faster due to the steam. So once you start seeing those mushrooms shrinking, now is a great time to add in your spinach. Again, I'm going to cover the pot up so that it cooks quicker. What I like to do next is strain the vegetables. So let's go and do that. So now our vegetables are all sauteed and ready to go. let's put together our lasagna. First thing we're gonna do is open up your jar of sauce, or use any sauce you like, even if you make it from scratch at home. I'm gonna put a little bit on the bottom of the pot, just to cover up the base. And we're gonna open up our Barilla oven-ready lasagna shells, which you do not have to boil. And all you're gonna do is layer it on the bottom. What I also do is you can break them in half just to cover the bottom. Don't worry about it looking pretty because no one's ever gonna see what the shells look like. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're going to take our ricotta cheese. What I like to do so that the spices get blended in is just mix the ricotta cheese with the thyme, basil, and oregano. That's well blended. We're gonna put just a scoop, and I'm using a pretty big size spoon here. I'm gonna just put a couple dollops in here, spread it around. And then we're gonna take our vegetables. And for this recipe, I'm making onion, spinach, and mushroom, but you can use any ingredient you'd like. You can even make cheese. Sometimes I'll saute some turkey, put that in there. You could do peppers and onions, whatever. It's really whatever your family likes. So after the vegetables, we're gonna sprinkle some mozzarella. And then we're gonna sprinkle some Parmesan. Parmesan's got a great taste. And we're gonna continue to layer. I'm gonna go to layer number 2. Once you've stopped layering, and the good indication of that is when you start running out of vegetables or meat or whatever ingredient you're putting into your lasagna, you're gonna do one final layer with just the noodles. And you're gonna take your sauce and cover up the noodles. At this point, I just use whatever's left in the jar. And the trick I always do is just to cover up the noodles so they don't dry out. And top it off with some mozzarella. And my favorite, Parmesan. And you're done. So our final step is take your lid off, lock up your InstaPot, and we're going to press slow cook. Make sure your valve is sealed on the top, and we're gonna go with normal. I usually do 3 hours, and you're gonna start cooking your lasagna. And when your lasagna is done, there will be a beep. And at that point, you have the option to either open the valve or just leave it closed because what will happen is that the pressure inside will just evaporate on its own. This concludes our segment on how to make lasagna in an InstaPot. In about 3 hours, you'll have dinner ready for your family so they can either take it or leave it. Thanks for joining us.